What's up, everyone? So, hear me out. There's been a change in this patch that has kind of destroyed one of my favorite things in this game. And I understand the intention. I think they were trying to fix an exploit. I think someone at CIG was tasked with doing something to prevent an exploit, but all they did was ruin an aesthetic aspect to the game that's actually really awesome. And of course, I'm talking about wearing clothing with armor. So in this patch, they completely destroyed the invisible undersuit. And I don't think they were actually trying to prevent people from wearing clothing with armor for outfit aesthetic purposes, but they were trying to fix the exploit where you could wear clothing that's heavy armor underneath the invisible undersuit, and then you could put heavy armor on top of the undersuit, and then you would basically have the ability to have 2 backpacks, double the amount of ammo magazines, double the amount of grenades. Often cases you could wear 4 guns. You couldn't use 4 guns interchangeably, but because you can now put guns in backpacks, you could kind of use the second backpack to store guns in that you could pull out. I understand it's a pretty rough exploit. People are dishonest. They're going to use whatever they can to get in the upper hand in PvP, and I understand that. But in order to fix that, changing the invisible undersuit doesn't actually solve the problem. It just wrecks the ability to wear clothing with armor, to have some of the most awesome looking outfits. As you can see, these are awesome. Like, being able to mix clothing with armor. Obviously not all clothing works with all armor, but that was kind of part of the fun, is figuring out what looks good and collecting clothing. I don't even want to collect clothes anymore because there's no reason to wear them if I can't wear them with a helmet. So let me explain. So in this update, which is 4.3.2, what they did is they made it so that the invisible undersuit that I have here, you can no longer do anything other than carry it. Now, this is completely wrecked. I understand you won't ever, because of the nature of the glitch, equipping something and then before your character equips it, opening an inventory and putting clothes on before. I understand this is a lot harder to fix, and I feel like whoever did this didn't understand the problem, and what they did didn't fix the exploit at all. In some ways it actually made it worse, and I'll explain that in a bit. But what they've done is you can't equip it, and in order to make it so we can't store it, what they did is they made it, see, it's 900,000 CSU, which is like, it's such a and it doesn't fix the problem, and it just takes something that was awesome. And the thing is, CIG is well aware that everyone wants to wear clothing with armor, which is why they're trying to figure out and make it so. They've told us that that's going to be a thing in the future, and they're doing that because they know everyone wants that. Right now we can have it using this glitch. I always thought they would allow this to continue because, well, first of all, like, exploit aside, because you don't need the invisible undersuit to do the exploit, and I'll get into that in a moment, but they know what we want, and so I always thought they would allow us to continue this until they gave us the ability to wear clothing over undersuits. Then maybe they would take away the ability to glitch clothing under undersuits, because you wouldn't need to. You could just put it over your undersuit, and lots of and then they can make clothing so it mixes with certain armors and stuff, and that makes sense. What they've done here doesn't make any sense, and I feel like it's kind of a very lazy cop-out. Someone didn't fully understand this issue, and so they went to fix the exploit, but then they just ruined something that everyone wants. And so I'm hoping that someone sees this video over at CIG and undo this, please, because you have not fixed the problem. You've just taken something away that thousands of people like. So first of all, you can't store the undersuit. Well, you can, right? If you don't want people to wear the invisible undersuit, because maybe you don't want you don't want your game to look ridiculous, people in their underwear with a helmet out in space. I get that, but you can still do that. I took this undersuit off an NPC body, and I just took it off their body and put it on mine. So you can still wear the invisible undersuit. No one was doing that, by the way. Like, no one was wearing just underwear and helmets. As far as I've never seen people do that. And then taking the ability away to equip it, obviously. I can't drop it. When I try to place it, it doesn't play. So I have to pick up this empty med pen just to drop the invisible undersuit. But obviously, because we have persistence in our home hangars, I don't have to put this in the inventory. It's just here, right? I can still store it. I just can't use it to create awesome outfits anymore, which is like a super buzzkill for me. Now, I'm going to explain something here because there are thousands of people that already know how to do this exploit. I'm not showing people how to do this on purpose. I'm not encouraging people to do this because honestly, if you have to do this, you probably are just worse than everyone else at PvP, and you probably should work on yourself instead of cheating. So with this exploit, if you're trying to fix this exploit, destroying the ability to use the invisible undersuit as a regular undersuit, it doesn't fix anything, and to an extent it makes it worse. Let me explain. So let me just in this box I have a piece of clothing that's heavy armor, but it's clothing, it's not an armor. And then this is just a regular undersuit here. So you put the clothing on, and then you can just put a regular undersuit on, and then still, like, you can just put a backpack on. Do I have a heavy backpack? Here's a heavy backpack. So I can put a heavy backpack on with just an undersuit. Now, before, people would kind of do the exploit, but they would think they needed the invisible undersuit. So everyone would grab the invisible undersuit, and then they would do the exploit. But with the invisible undersuit, you could at least see, oh, that guy's exploiting. He has like double backpacks and 4 weapons hanging off his backpack. And you could see all the, like, you can carry like 16 magazines of ammunition and stuff. So, but now it's kind of, I can just look like I'm not threatening at all. And here's the thing, I don't think many people thought about using just a normal undersuit to do this exploit. But now that you've destroyed the invisible undersuit, people are like, oh, you can just use a regular undersuit. They're like now thinking of a new way to still exploit, which is inevitable. So put a grenade launcher on there. What else? How about a railgun? I now have a railgun, but no one can see it, right? So you can see I got grenade launcher and a railgun. But you can't see it, right? So I look completely harmless until I pull out a railgun, right? And it's like, wait, where did they get that from? But now the other thing is, you can still wear double the backpacks, because if you put a heavy armor on, so you can still just put heavy armor on, and then you can put a whole nother backpack on. So you can carry like a whole bunch of guns, right? So right now I have 4 guns. So right now I have a railgun, I have a sniper rifle, I have an LMG, and I have a grenade launcher, right? And then in my backpack, I have a P4. So I understand this exploit is a problem, right? CIG, I get it. It's a problem. But destroying the ability to use the invisible undersuit as a regular undersuit does not fix this problem. And in some ways, like I explained, people are just now going to use normal undersuits, and they're still just going to have access to the exploit. So if you want to fix this exploit, you're going to have to, I'll be honest, right now, I don't think we need clothing that is heavy armor, right? We don't need that. I would be totally fine if you took that clothing that's heavy armor out of the game until you figured out a way to fix this issue. Destroying the invisible undersuit ruins an element of the game where it allows people freedom to create outfits that look unique and awesome. And you know we want that, which is why you're trying to make it so we can wear clothing with undersuits. But till then, give us the ability to at least glitch it, because taking away our ability to glitch an outfit does not fix this exploit. I understand people have probably complained about this exploit, but I don't know a single person that's complained about being able to wear clothing with armor, because everyone wants to be able to do that. So I guess I'm just making this video to make you guys aware, like, this change that you've made has not fixed anything at all as far as exploiting goes. Some of these outfits that you can make are just so cool, and in a way it makes the game better, even though we're not yet at the place where we can wear clothing over undersuits. It makes it so that we can. I'm kind of just hoping that somebody at CIG sees this. Maybe some of you guys can send this video to people you know or share it around, because I would really, really, really like the ability to create awesome outfits again. Until we actually get a way to wear clothing with armor that is not a glitch, I would really appreciate if you guys could fix the invisible undersuit so that it isn't, so that first of all it doesn't weigh 900,000 CSCU, and that we can equip it like a regular undersuit from the box like this, so that we can do this glitch, so that we can still have awesome outfits. What you've done has not fixed exploit at all. To be clear, wearing clothing with armor is not an exploit. It's just an aesthetic, so you can look different from everyone else, right? It's not an exploit. I understand that because you guys have added clothing that is heavy armor, you can wear that clothing under an undersuit and have be able to carry more than everyone else. I understand that is 100% an exploit. It's basically cheating, let's just be honest. But figure out a way to fix that. Like I said, take the clothing with armor out of the game temporarily. Just do it. And if people complain about that, you know, it's probably going to be the same people that complain about the exploit, you know? Oh, they just took the clothing with armor out. It's like, yeah, but you guys were complaining that people were using clothing with armor undersuits to exploit and cheat. And so if you could please just give us back the ability to use the invisible undersuit for now, just for now. And like I said, I don't know technicalities on the back end. I don't know how you would fix this exploit. The person who destroyed the invisible undersuit in this patch obviously doesn't know how to do it either. I don't think there would be a big issue if you took the clothing that has 40% armor out of the game for now, because that would fix the exploit, at least for now, until you figure out a way to implement it properly. Maybe with when you do figure out how to do clothing over undersuits or with armor. I understand the nature of this and how you can't really fix this. So just take the clothing with heavy armor out of the game, or just make it not heavy armor for now, and then like revisit that later on once you've fully developed the new inventory system with the clothing over undersuits with armor and everything, that would probably be the best way to go about this, because you've just destroyed like one of my favorite parts of this game. And there's thousands of people that enjoy using clothing with armor, and you guys know that. I'm not telling you something that you don't know. If you didn't know, you wouldn't be trying to make it so we could wear clothing with undersuits. But yeah, hopefully someone at CIG sees this and can put in a word with the people that destroyed the invisible undersuit, so they could maybe undo that, because it didn't fix the problem, and in some ways it kind of makes it worse, because now it's just going to force the people who are cheating to all use regular undersuits, which is going to make it much more difficult to actually figure out that they're cheating for players who aren't cheating. And I think that's everything I wanted to say. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.